At a charity gala, Barron Trump delivered a poised reply to a journalist's mockery, turning an unexpected moment into the standout highlight of the evening. The ballroom at the Fairmont Grand Hotel unfolded like a scene from a grand tale, captivating all who entered with its sheer beauty. The annual charity gala unfolded with a gentle symphony of whispers among the elegantly attired guests, while crystal chandeliers cast their enchanting glow overhead. The audience was graced by the presence of some of the nation's most influential figures. A group of business moguls, actors, and journalists came together to lend their support to a foundation dedicated to uplifting underprivileged youth. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, yet a subtle tension lingered as the evening's keynote speaker prepared to step into the spotlight. Barron Trump found himself nestled in a quieter nook at the back of the room. At 18, his stoic demeanor and towering frame set him apart, though it was never his intention to draw attention. An invitation had been graciously extended to him by a family friend. A delicate motion meant to welcome him into a unique circle of society. Barron seemed at ease, his sharp blue eyes sweeping across the room with a serenity that contradicted his youth, unlike many guests who reveled in the limelight. As the evening unfolded, the gala continued on its path, untouched by any disturbances. As the waitstaff glided through the room, they presented exquisite hors d'oeuvres and champagne, accompanied by the soft melodies of a string quartet serenading the atmosphere. The air was filled with joyous laughter, and the conversations flowed with warmth and friendliness. As the evening unfolded, all eyes were eagerly fixed on the speech, the moment that everyone had been waiting for. The esteemed journalist, a prominent voice within liberal media circles, had been chosen as the keynote speaker for the evening several weeks in advance. Some praised them for their passionate expressions, while others took issue with their keen insights and bold viewpoints. They vowed to present a discourse that would ignite contemplation and stir new viewpoints this evening. Yet, a palpable shift filled the air as the MC unveiled the journalist to the audience. Glasses were set aside, chatter faded into silence, and every gaze was drawn to the stage. Barron's expression was a mystery, and he subtly reclined in his chair. A bold smile illuminated the journalist's face as they stepped up to the podium. They radiated charm, adorned in a flawlessly tailored black suit that spoke of sophistication. The crowd offered their courteous applause, yet an undercurrent of eagerness lingered in the air. They often crossed lines. Would they dare to do so this evening? No one could have foreseen the magnitude of the amount. As the journalist took the stage, the spotlight casting a warm glow, the atmosphere shifted, hinting at an unforgettable evening that would linger in the minds of all present. The journalist gracefully sparked the conversation, weaving a charming and engaging tone throughout their dialogue. They shared whimsical tales of a past gala blunder featuring a toppled champagne tower, punctuating their conversation with playful jests about the city's infamous traffic. The sound of laughter echoed among the audience, easing the weight of the initial tension. For a fleeting moment, it seemed like an ordinary high-profile affair, elegant, expected, and devoid of danger. Yet, in an instant, their demeanor shifted dramatically. What started as a broad reflection on the realms of politics and culture gradually transformed into a sharper examination. They crafted a humorous reflection of the quirks and missteps of notable political figures. A segment of the crowd erupted in soft laughter, and knowing nods with every clever remark, while others shared glances, their smiles deepening with delight. At that moment, all eyes turned to Donald Trump. One cannot embark on a conversation about the present condition of our world without acknowledging the figure who has turned orange into the new black. The journalist's remarks sparked a subtle wave of amusement. No matter how you feel about him, it is essential to recognize that he is indeed present. For individuals like me, he is an endless treasure. The response from the audience varied greatly. Some shifted uneasily in their chairs, while others erupted in laughter. Barron sat at his table, his face a mask of mystery, utterly still in the quiet of the moment. Should the journalist have been aware of his presence, they chose not to reveal it, at least for the moment. The clever remarks kept coming, each sharper and wittier than the last. The journalist then wove a narrative around Trump's policies, statements, and public appearances. The journalist continued, but the laughter began to fade, replaced by an increasing tension that settled over the audience. And naturally, they interjected, taking a moment to let the weight of their words sink in. We must not overlook his most hidden legacy, the future generation. Let us gather and weave a tale about Barron. The air was thick with a chorus of astonished gasps. Barron, now the center of attention, stood steadfast as all eyes gravitated toward him. The journalist's tone danced with a playful spirit, yet the words dripped with sharpness. Picture a life within a shimmering tower of gold, encased in marble, while your father shares whimsical thoughts on coffee, as the rest of us grapple with the mundane struggles of Monday mornings. Picture that. That surely was a journey of crafting character. The attempt at humor fell flat. As a handful of souls in the crowd chuckled with unease, the rest stood frozen, captivated by the unfolding scene. The unexpected attention had landed squarely on Barron, neither sought nor desired. Yet, Barron held his ground, steadfast and unyielding, not allowing the weight of the moment to sway him. Yet, his next moves would send ripples through the very heart of the chamber. The room seemed to hold its breath, caught in a moment of stillness. Barron Trump, a young man suddenly catapulted into the spotlight. The audience hung on the journalist's every word, each syllable hanging in the air, sharp and resonant. Yet, Barron held onto his calm demeanor. He remained still in his seat, his gaze fixed ahead, unperturbed by the world around him. He held a steady demeanor, his expression calm yet enigmatic, with his hands gently placed on the edge of the table. With every fleeting moment, the silence grew heavier, wrapping around the atmosphere like a thick fog. A handful of souls cast sidelong looks at one another, their unease palpable in the air. The journalist's assured grin momentarily wavered as they cast a glance toward Barron's table, sensing the undercurrents of unease in the air. Perhaps they had expected a light-hearted laugh or a wave of indifference. Anything but this quiet rebellion. Barron's calm demeanor was not born from a place of apathy. It was a world apart. His presence, a blend of subtlety and authority, seemed to grow more potent as the moment unfolded. Just moments prior, the room buzzed with laughter and lively chatter. Now, an unsettling hush enveloped the space. In that moment, it felt like every person present, even those who had chuckled at the humor, suddenly understood the weight of the words spoken. His silence was not merely a lack of words. It stood as a proclamation all on its own. It declared, "I hear you, I see you, and I remain unmoved." The stillness was broken by a soft whisper as a companion leaned in to speak to someone near the stage. The journalists sought to reclaim authority over the unfolding events by clearing their throat. They whispered into the microphone, attempting a laugh that fell flat, revealing the audience's steely demeanor. The room was shrouded in a heavy, unseen air of anticipation. Then Barron moved to a new place. With a measured grace, he pushed his chair back and rose to his feet, each movement unfolding like a carefully crafted scene. The only sound that filled the room was the soft whisper of the chair legs gliding across the floor. He stood tall, an impressive presence, his stature complemented by a surprising depth of character, reaching just over 6 feet. His eyes roamed the room, sweeping over the space until they found the journalist, who was peering out at the gathering throng. Barron found himself in a moment where words were not necessary. His mere presence hushed even the faintest whispers at the back of the room, drawing every eye and ear to him. With a deliberate grace, he rose from his table and made his way to the stage, his stance resolute and each step carefully calculated. As Barron drew near, the journalist's bravado melted away, leaving them momentarily paralyzed. As the crowd watched, their eyes sparkled with a mix of eager anticipation and sheer disbelief. His words and actions danced on the edge of unpredictability, yet one thing was clear: this young man was poised to grasp the moment with fervor. Yet, when Barron finally found his voice from the edge of the stage, his words took everyone by surprise. As Barron made his way toward the edge of the stage, the audience's eyes were drawn to him, a shared anticipation hanging in the air. The atmosphere crackled with intensity, every fleeting moment stretching into what seemed like forever. With a poised demeanor, he came to a stop just a few paces from the podium. His voice flowed with intention and calm, each word slicing through the stillness like a finely honed edge. He conveyed appreciation for your viewpoint, his presence steady and commanding. The journalist and the audience found themselves captivated by his choice of words. A haunting aura of mastery, strikingly mature for his age, enveloped him. There was an absence of anger, a void where fury might dwell. Barron continued, his gaze unwavering on the journalist. I have devoted my life to observing how people form conclusions about my family, myself, and my existence. For many, it has turned into a sort of pastime, a way to piece together a narrative when the full tale remains elusive. It is only natural. We inhabit the spotlight. It comes with the role we play. The room held an unsettling stillness, as the richness and depth of his voice entranced the listeners. Even those who had once chuckled quietly at the jests now sat in stillness, their expressions marked by a palpable discomfort. Barron remarked, "Yet there's a vital element that often goes unnoticed," his tone shifting slightly as a hint of intensity emerged. Behind every headline and punchline lies a human being, a unique individual with their own struggles, aspirations, and narrative. While you might think you know me because of my father's name, the truth is a bit more complex than that. The journalist, gripping the edge of the podium, now seemed to radiate a palpable tension. Barron's remarks were not an assault. Instead, they served as a mirror to the seriousness of the recent events. Barron paused, allowing the weight of his thoughts to settle, and remarked, "I've come to understand that respect need not be earned. It ought to be offered without reservation, especially when one is not yet acquainted with the person's tale." Barron had more to share, and the audience reacted with a wave of whispers. With a subtle shift, he began to engage not just the journalist, but the audience as well. He expressed, "We are living in a time when it is effortless to undermine one another," his voice steady yet imbued with a calm conviction that echoed in the air. Words hold immense power. They hold the power to inflict damage or to foster healing. They stand at a crossroads, faced with the choice to either split apart or come together as one. Furthermore, I feel that we could all gain from an increased presence of the latter. The listeners were spellbound. Barron's remarks, shared with a calm poise, seemed to carry a weight that surpassed his age. He was not just responding to a fleeting moment. He was engaging with something far grander, a universal force that transcended the immediate. Barron took a step back, his gaze once again locked onto the journalists. With a soft tone, he remarked, "I hope this offers you some food for thought." His voice carried no hint of malice. Instead, it radiated a calm strength that left the audience in awe. In the hushed stillness, the only sound that broke the air was the soft rhythm of his shoes tapping against the gleaming floor as he pivoted and made his way back to his seat. No one moved from their place. Silence enveloped the room. The journalist's former assurance was completely diminished. Yet, the real weight of Barron's words would echo well beyond the walls of that room, as the praise grew louder and he took his seat. The applause began as a cautious clap from a spot close to the front, but it quickly grew, cascading through the audience like an unstoppable wave. In an instant, the ballroom came alive, with everyone rising to their feet, creating a thunderous standing ovation that filled the air. Some erupted in applause, their admiration palpable, while others experienced a wave of redemption, reflecting on the tension that had lingered just moments before. At the podium, the journalist fought to hold back a grin. Barron, perched at his table, remained silent in the face of the applause. With an air of calm, he offered a polite nod to those around him, embodying a quiet grace in the moment. It was not a matter of humility or timidity. Instead, it was the serene assurance of someone who had clearly expressed what was needed. Within mere hours, the event's highlights flooded social media, captivating audiences far and wide. Barron's speech had been captured in secret on the phones of those present, and the footage spread rapidly, igniting curiosity and intrigue. The evening's essence unfolded through a tapestry of tweets, Instagram stories, and TikTok clips, where captions danced between admiration for Barron's grace and sharp critiques of the journalist's ill-timed humor. In a captivating turn of events, a viral tweet reveals that Barron Trump has taken it upon himself to enlighten an entire classroom about the vital values of respect and class. A recent post from a well-known celebrity in attendance conveyed that, no matter the views held about his family, this young man has certainly given us much to ponder. As dawn broke the next day, the tale of the incident began to spread, captured by numerous news outlets eager to share the unfolding narrative. Barron's growth was celebrated by many, who called it a defining moment for someone who had lived much of his life in the spotlight. The morality of the journalist's remarks sparked a lively discussion among many who pondered whether public figures, especially those still in their youth, ought to endure such scrutiny. The journalist, however, unveiled a statement the next day. Humor and insight are powerful tools, yet they require careful handling. Last night, I ventured into uncharted territory and extended my apologies to Barron Trump for my remarks. Yet, there were those who viewed the apology with skepticism. The event sparked fervent discussions across talk shows, podcasts, and various online platforms. Barron's speech resonated with many as a vital call for civility in an increasingly divided world. Some saw it as a touching reminder that even those who shine in the spotlight are, at their core, individuals deserving of dignity. Barron, however, viewed the raucous spectacle as inconsequential. He returned to his daily routine, embodying the same serene grace that had marked his demeanor at the gala. Those familiar with him shared that he hardly paid heed to the uproar, choosing instead to immerse himself in his personal passions and scholarly endeavors. Yet, the lessons from that evening lingered, sparking conversations that flowed far beyond the ballroom's walls, as Barron made his transition. As the echoes of the gala's night lingered in the air, the aftermath unfolded, weaving a tapestry of consequences that spread far and wide. Even as other tales took center stage in the news, this moment lingered in the conversations of offices, classrooms, and dinner tables, weaving its way into the fabric of daily life. The evening unfolded with a richness that invited reflection, revealing not just its dramatic moments, but also the deep wisdom it offered. Barron's thoughtful and introspective reply struck a chord with the listeners. His choice to navigate the situation with grace and insight stood out as a rare gem in an era marked by fervor and immediate responses. Numerous souls reflected on their own journeys, pondering how often they pause before taking action. How often do we choose words that create, rather than words that destroy? The event acted as a pivotal moment for some individuals, stirring them from their slumber of complacency. It highlighted how effortlessly one can strip away the humanity of others under the guise of humor, political discourse, or amusement. The journalist's remarks echoed with the weight of truth, a poignant reminder of the power that words hold, capable of both captivating hearts and causing deep wounds. Parents seized the occasion to weave valuable lessons for their children. In classrooms, Barron's speech was brought to life through videos, sparking rich discussions about empathy, respect, and the vital importance of standing up for oneself while honoring others. The educators praised his remarkable ability to navigate conflicts with grace, inspiring the students to thoughtfully examine their own approaches to communication. Yet, the evening's most profound impact lay in its ability to bring together diverse groups, if only for a fleeting moment. Barron's maturity captivated the hearts of people from all walks of life and varied political beliefs. It transcended the weight of his father's legacy or the significance of his last name. It revolved around a young man who embodied the enduring qualities of respect and empathy in a world often filled with challenges and provocations. Barron had reminded everyone in the room, along with countless others watching from a distance, that dignity is a choice, demonstrated through a response filled with kindness and integrity. His actions revealed that the capacity to rise above a situation, no matter how intense or divisive, is an enduring and formidable strength. As the conversations unfolded, one sentiment emerged as the most resonant among all. While words can wield the power to inflict pain, they also hold the key to healing and restoration. It falls upon each of us to decide how best to wield them. In the end, Barron's actions were driven by more than just a desire to protect his own dignity. They sparked a moment of shared reflection, a gentle nudge that respect, even when it seems unwarranted, holds the power to change everything. Let Barron's tale be a guiding light for us all. Words hold immense power. Utilize them wisely. Embrace the power of respect and empathy, no matter if you're engaging with a friend, a stranger, or someone whose views differ from your own. If this tale struck a chord with you, don't forget to subscribe for more real-life accounts that inspire and push us to grow. Let us carry on with our conversation.